Greetings, enlightened ones. Thank you for joining your generic store brand Reverend. In today's video, we're going to be going over why acting is a form of escapism for me. I believe it comes as no surprise that acting is a passion of mine and something I'm pursuing as a full-time career. I mean, I've made mention plenty of times in numerous videos that this is something that I'm extremely serious about. Now, I'm going to be real. This video is probably going to be a little bit personal as it's going to dive into my life a little bit, and so all the shit that I've been experiencing, how have I found a healthy way to then channel it through my acting, and that then goes into the form of escapism in which I'm talking to you guys about, right? Many people use escapism for a multitude of different things. Some people use it, gaming, for example, as their outlet. Insert any other hobby to essentially get away from the bullshit that is life. Oftentimes, when I think of escapism, I'm thinking of running away from your problems or running away from society, almost like a form of complacency in a way, which then I say it's healthy, but is it really? Because my form of escapism is actually running away from myself, if that makes sense. Oftentimes, and I've said this multiple times in different videos, but I am my own worst enemy. It's extremely hard to produce YouTube videos. I always have a bunch of negative thoughts in my head as to, oh, that's a terrible idea. Oh, why are you even doing that? Why? It's always an ongoing thing of just negativity, and usually I have to suppress it by just ignoring it, throwing it into the back of my head, and just doing it anyways. So, for example, and we're going to talk a little bit on it in this video towards the end, but I'm trying to create a short film of the shit that I've been going through in my life and trying to encapsulate it into a film. And it's probably going to take me a little bit of some time to produce, but oftentimes when I'm recording things, I think, that's kind of stupid. I don't know if people would resonate with that, or that's kind of a terrible idea. And what I think might be a terrible idea may not be a terrible idea to others. So sometimes you just got to produce shit and just roll with it, and eventually just see what sticks. So before we get into the escapism aspect of acting, we need to find the foundation of why it is that I feel at peace when I act, which is going to kind of delve into a lot of where I come from. So growing up, I've had kind of a dysfunctional family. I lived with my grandparents and my parents didn't get along with each other. I'm not going to go into super detail with everything, but you can kind of see that dynamic, right? So a lot of family issues, we'll say. But trauma aside, family trauma in any way, I feel like that's developed me into the person that I am today in terms of a functioning human being. So I'm not going to use the trauma aspect so much as to define me and the issues that I'm going through. It's more of a level of loneliness, loveless, not able to even create genuine connections with people anymore. I mean, people that can resonate with me on a more emotional and mental level, because everybody you talk to these days is very surface level and nobody can seem to have a very intelligent conversation anymore. So that's something that really fucking feels isolating at times, and it's very hard to connect with people. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. It's not just me that feels this. Ever since the invention of these stupid fucking things, it's gotten really bad. And everybody talks about it ever since COVID had happened. I know there's something going on in our society on a political, geopolitical, whatever the fuck you want to call it, level. Shit, it almost feels like fucking Outlast trials. Like there's some MK2 Ultra project fucking going on. I don't know, but everybody seems to be like fucking drones, zombies, and like I'm the only one that the frequency or whatever the fuck you want to call it is not affecting me. I don't know. I don't know what the hell you'd want to call it. But that's the only best way I could put it, is like I can't make genuine connections with everybody because everybody is tied and glued to these fucking things and trying to get their next dopamine fix. So, which then affects, my love life, further isolating me, trying to make connections, trying to find a woman in my life that will pick me up. I recently just got out of a relationship, and long story short, I'm not going to spill the beans on all that shit, but that relationship was just not meeting my expectations. I had goals that I wanted to complete in life, and that person wasn't meeting those expectations because that relationship was further declining my mental instability. So I had to make a decision to just basically cut ties with it, and completely fully pursue what it is that I should be doing, which is, well, acting. And look, I'm not perfect. I feel like I contributed to the decline of that relationship slightly, but there was a major reason why I was feeling the way that I was, and the reason why I acted the way that I was in that relationship, because it wasn't progressing in the direction that I wanted to. Not to say to justify my actions in it, but I just did not feel complete with it. And there's things that I need to do in life to feel better about myself, and that was just one of those things. I used to have a lot of self-esteem issues, and sometimes I still do to this day about certain things, but I know my value as a man and my self-worth as a man. I know what I will and will not put up with, my boundaries, and there would be things that I would disclose in this video, but they're a little too personal. But most people in life can't set boundaries for themselves, or they'll do things that would otherwise go against their moral compass, if that makes sense. I would be a little bit of a hypocrite if I didn't say that I have been one of those people in my life, with previous relationships where I felt vulnerable because I've been constantly neglected of love or affection, intimacy, whatever you want to call it. Much of the relationships that I've had in my life, I felt like the women have always kind of manipulated me. I don't see all women as evil people, or, vice versa, all men as evil people. But these are just the experiences that I've had with dating women where I've just not had really good luck, and it's always been rejection, manipulation, whatever it may be. But obviously, like I said, I'm not going to demonize a sex of people just because I've had negative experiences. That's how you become these womanizers or feminists and shit. And I find all that shit just another way to divide men and women, so men and women don't come together anymore. This is just, I'm just choosing the wrong people at the end of the day is what it feels like. And so oftentimes I get into these relationships and, I'm very vulnerable because I've been devoid of those things. So I choose the wrong people. I think that's the problem that I'm having with my life is, I lower my guard a little too much because I'm hoping that this person will be different, like anybody else, and it ends up shooting me in the foot, and then I end up in another manipulative relationship where my partner's actually more abusive and I need to get the fuck out ASAP. So let's reel this in and then talk about how acting and escapism fit into this. So acting allows me to essentially bring out all the crap that I've had pent up inside of me and basically act it all out in a performance. So Purgatory this weekend, I was actually a chainsaw guy. So they put me on chainsaw, which was really fun. I actually liked doing it. And, I am just 100% always in character. Almost no part of the night I'm actually out of character. And let me tell you, it was a very exhausting role, but I just kept pushing through. My diaphragm was just killing me because I'm not only having to hold this big-ass chainsaw, but I'm also having to yell, scream at people, and chase after them all at once. So it's a very taxing kind of role, but I totally fully enjoyed it. It was fun. But yeah, like, seeing people's reaction to them getting afraid of me is like almost like I'm taking all that bullshit that's been pent up inside of me and just acting clinically ill, clinically insane, almost like just mentally not there and well. And I just bring it all out where my eyes are super big and I'm just screaming and bringing out my chest at the top of my lungs with this chainsaw just hovering by their legs and shit. And they can see me and they're just like completely like, holy shit, dude. Like, they get taken back by just seeing the chainsaw and shit, and so they just start taking off running, and that is a very rewarding type of feeling. Yeah, seeing people's reactions to my performance is the most rewarding thing ever, and it makes me feel like I'm just not on this earth. Once I'm like mentally checked out and in my role as a different character, it's like I can't snap out of it. That's how much enjoyment I get out of just acting, is like I'm on another world. Like I don't even, me here doesn't exist anymore. Some people claim that is the true method acting. I don't know if I call that method acting. I don't know what you want to call it, but it feels like I'm somebody that I'm not. I take this character, me, I take this and I put it into the character. So we gave the clown character that I play as at Purgatory, we call him Nitrous. He's a very high energy kind of clown. He's always laughing. He's always extra. He's always moving around, jittery. That's kind of the character I embodied him. That's not who he is, but that's kind of how I interpret him, the way he dresses. He's also kind of like a mental patient. He has like a straitjacket on with a bunch of clown stuff on it. So that's how I bring me into this character, is getting all that energy, pent up energy and anger, frustration, whatever you want to call it, throwing it into the character and then delivering it as a performance. So I think that's what I'm trying to, explain to you guys like what acting really truly feels for me. Now you can, like I said, you can call that method acting, but I feel like it's much more than just method. I feel like this is like almost like it's me, but it's just in a different character. But yeah, that's what I've essentially been doing with acting, and it's obviously paying off. Just by working at Purgatory, I've learned a lot about myself in terms of my acting style, and I've only worked there for about 4 days, so it's shown me a lot in what I'm capable of doing. I'm always mixing things up with the character as well. I was actually almost like mimicking people, and that seemed to have gotten the most reactions out of people, where they were like amazed at my performance with that, where like people were talking to me and then I would mimic them, but then I would try to like elevate it, or they'll start laughing and then I copy their exact laugh in my throat, but I'll start going and I just keep raising it up, raising it up, raising it up until I start screaming at the top of my lungs at them. So yeah, it's really fun. Purgatory has just been a lot of fun with experimenting, improving, that kind of stuff. And these are the tools, this is the experience that I'm going to utilize for the rest of my life moving forward with acting roles, whatever you may call it, audition roles, once I get more into Actors Access and start really applying for auditions. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. I do have much coming up. I'm going to be working on that teaser trailer, so I'm hoping to have it sometime by the end of next week if everything goes according to plan. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. If you did like the video, like, share, and subscribe. It would help me a lot to get into that algorithm. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.